Back to the No Clue podcast. I have lost count of what episode we are on, but we are back.
140.
140. We are back. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tyler. Welcome.
Yeah, took a week off. Was an uneventful week prior, I think.
It was. Yep. Sports wise, for sure.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have to say rest in peace DMX to start with. Rest in peace to Black Rob. Another rapper died. 51. DMX was 50. We've talked about DMX on here before. We love DMX. Yeah, man, that was rough, obviously. But as usual, let's get right to the sports.
Man, Jamal Murray was tough news.
Really tough news. Yep.
I just with Denver, bro, he was such a weird fit.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about it. It's similar to Tatum with Boston, where it's almost like he's a separate dynamic from everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
But it worked. So we saw in the playoffs, it worked so well. He was getting better. Like maybe he didn't fit great, but I thought his game individually was getting better and better. And Jokic alongside him was getting better and better. So,
and I think with the additions, they were figuring out some sort of chemistry with Porter Jr. and Gordon and Murray. They're moving the ball really well so far. So, yeah, man, it's a tough loss. Real tough.
Yeah, I think they're capable of overcoming it.
But to what end?
Right.
Not overcoming it to win a championship, right?
No.
Right.
And what sucks about it is, watching how a lot of teams, their window seems like it's going to be big. And then, looking back on it, it's not.
Right.
And this kind of seems like one of those injuries that just offsets them from going on like an extended run where they're competing for championships.
Yeah, because it looked like they made, and we talked about the moves, but it looked like with the Gordon thing, they were making all the right moves, put themselves there to championship contending.
And even before Gordon got there, I thought they started playing much better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they were kind of like they were easing into the season, which you could see why, considering the short off season.
Yeah.
A lot of the teams that went deep in the playoffs in the bubble are struggling.
Yep.
So they were figuring it out, and it's such a blow.
And with health, they're struggling. Those same teams.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What team you want to start with?
Let's talk New York because that's positive. Start off on a good note.
Yep.
Outside of Murray.
Yep.
Man, specifically watching them today, I wanted to see how they played today because it was a good game for them. A team they could beat. They're kind of even with as far as just I would say talent for talent. And they look great.
They did.
They're one of the few teams that actually I enjoy watching how they play defense.
Yeah.
You see the effort, you see the camaraderie, it's everything is together.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're such a group. Finally, the Knicks are a group that's working together. I feel like I couldn't say that for even when Melo was there and they were kind of, a playoff team, but not really a contender.
Yeah.
They never felt like it was like a together one unit.
Right.
And finally, they have great chemistry. And I mean, the coaching is elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, Thibodeau proves that this trend to younger, more exciting younger college coaches, it shouldn't be that quick of a decision.
I agree.
And a lot of the younger rosters don't benefit off of that.
Right. Because I don't think anyone on this team had played for Thibodeau before, if I'm not mistaken.
Gibson.
Oh yeah, Gibson. That's it.
But he's
And
not
he,
like,
he
he's not
barely plays now. So
right, right. But
yeah.
it's just Thibodeau has done so many good things.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he gets the primary credit for the reason why they're committed to defense.
Yeah.
That's all his teams do that.
Yep.
The chemistry is great. He somehow came into this roster and figured out a rotation.
Yep.
I mean,
And
I
a good
honestly,
one.
exactly. I forgot to do this. I was going to do this prior to the episode. I was going to pull up every coach that Reggie Bullock had played for. And nobody, because
Yeah.
I knew he could shoot the ball. Even in Detroit, I was like, this guy could shoot the ball. He can get minutes.
Yeah.
And everywhere, Clippers. I don't even remember where else he played, but it was like he was trash.
Yeah.
He was either getting minutes here and there, or he just was like sporadically getting clock.
Yep.
And it honestly looked like he had no business being in the league.
Clippers, the Suns, the Pistons, the Lakers, and then the Knicks.
And none of them used him right.
Not one.
Not one. And he gets to Thibodeau, who's a defensive coach, and now he's thriving.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I mean, they're good coaches. I mean, Doc was there. He was there in 2019 for LA. Who was there in 2019?
Some of Doc's best work.
I'm not sure who was there for 2019 for the Lakers. But, I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, he hasn't played for a lot of garbage coaches, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. And he's played on good rosters, like where you would think he would fit.
Yeah.
And here, this team, he's buying into them playing defense. He moves the ball really well. He looks like the role player that like he's kind of been close to all these years.
Yeah. He finally looks actually 3-and-D.
Yes. But and the crazy thing is, like, Thibodeau wants to win. That's all it really is.
Yep.
There's not this weird force of developing the draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're trash, don't play them. It's like every New York coach for the last 5 years like couldn't do that. I don't know if it was management or whatever, but I just don't understand why now Kevin Knox is not playing, Maquina is not playing, and this team is thriving. Like, it took them years to figure that out.
I know. Yeah,
it's bizarre. Like, it's like Thibodeau came in there and he just like knows basketball and he took it seriously.
Is Obi Toppin hurt?
No, he played a couple minutes,
but he barely plays.
But he doesn't do much.
I know.
And Thibodeau, for better or worse, if the starting five is all he got, he's squeezing that starting five for every minute he can.
Yep.
And that's what he's doing. Randall plays huge minutes.
And they're beating solid teams.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this 6 wins in a row. Memphis, Toronto, the Lakers, the Pelicans, Dallas, and then the Pelicans again. So
yeah, I mean, today's win wasn't that impressive to me, but I like how they played.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Like, Randall's clearly the go-to guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's role is clear cut. Yeah. I mean, the fact that I could say that about the Knicks is just like a joy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a contender. Don't get me wrong. I think they're like, they play good defense, but size-wise, they will not match up with a lot of teams well.
Because they're guards, you mean?
Yeah, their guards are just like small.
Yeah, Emmanuel quickly looks small. Like he only weighs 120 pounds.
He's tight, and he's been great for them, man. Quickly and Derrick Rose have just been such a point guard presence for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more of a knock on the rest of the league, that Derrick Rose can like be a efficient, effective point guard.
Yeah,
because he's really not.
Right, it's really not his game.
But he understands how to play. He understands who he's out there with.
But I also think him coming off the bench, he gets to like he gets to have a more enclosed game opposed to him like being on the court for 30 minutes. Where
Exactly.
it was a lot for him to do. He's like, they just say, okay, go out there, move the ball, get to the basket, and he
Yeah.
gets it done. And
And he
shot looks great too now.
it does. It doesn't have that weird like hitch.
Yeah.
And he's just clutch. He's comfortable.
Yeah.
He has great chemistry with pretty much everybody on the team.
Yeah.
So they're doing a lot of things well, man. I hope they have an active off season. I hope so, man. That's the last step for them is to for management to do something in the off season, like work.
But like we mentioned before the podcast, they're finally building a team that somebody would want to play with.
Exactly.
They're at the point where it's just a slight addition and they might be good.
Exactly.
2 additions, I would say.
And I love how everybody that I saw today was playing. Like Nerlens Noel is he's been good in other places, OKC, but he's getting maxed here.
Yeah.
Like what he does, a lot of blocks, a lot of putbacks, lobs. Yep. He's doing all that.
Yep.
So they look really good, man. I'm really happy for them. And I think they're not going to be an easy first round win. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, no way.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come out the first round, as a matter of fact.
Oh, no.
Stop. Hey, Randall might get high.
No way.
Randall's getting I like how he shoots threes, man. He looks good shooting them, I think.
He does. But
he was a little messy today with the shots, but
it has to be top 4 to come out. It have to be. At 6? Well, I think they could beat the Hawks. They can't beat the Bucks. I hope they don't.
I'm not going to get disrespectful. I'm going to let it go.
I hope they can't beat the Celtics, but you never know with the Celtics sometimes.
I just think they're playoff ready to me with how they're playing.
I agree. Yeah. Intensity-wise, energy-wise, and cohesion, they're definitely playoff ready. Yeah.
And even if they get a bad, like if they get Brooklyn or Philly in the first round, they're the type of team to like catch them off guard and take the first game.
Oh, yeah.
I could easily see that happening.
Definitely against Brooklyn. Yeah, probably be harder against Philly because, unless Mitchell Robinson is there, the Embiid is going to be a nightmare. But they're going
to have problems. Brooklyn. Again, they're just like size-wise, they're not a good build.
Right, because Randall's like a 6'7" power forward.
Like Bullock is a wing, but he's really like a small shooting guard.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of their bigger guys, like Robinson's hurt. Taj Gibson's, kind of an older guy now. Doesn't have the impact he used to.
Why are you being so nice to Taj Gibson today? He's washed.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that.
But Obi Toppin just doesn't play good defense. Knox doesn't play any defense.
Speaking of not playing good defense, let's segue that because, we've raved about the Knicks, I think, enough.
Mm-hmm.
The team they played today, the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, they beat twice in a week.
I was really certain that I knew who the worst defense in the league was.
Who did you think it was?
Washington. No question.
Mm-hmm.
And for up until Friday night, I was sure it was DC. I turned on Friday's game thinking like, DC's about to get blown out because they can't stop a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the Pelicans are practically worse.
They're 27th in defensive rating.
Dude, I haven't watched them a ton, to be fair, so I'm going off of the Wizards and the Knicks, and you just said they lost to the Knicks twice.
Yeah.
These are 3 games. Maybe you don't go 3-0, but you don't go 0-3 in those games.
Right.
This team can't guard a soul.
No, they can't.
It is bizarre. And there's a lot more problems, but obviously their record isn't awful, but their defense is awful, which means they're close.
Yeah.
Like they're close to being a playoff seed, but they don't guard anybody. They foul shooters like crazy.
Yep.
Just in general, they foul soft. Guys just blow past whoever.
Yeah.
They either only help everyone or don't help anyone. Like there's never a balance.
Yeah.
And it's so bad that they don't even defensive rebound well. With Steven Adams and Zion Williamson, you can't box out.
The thing is, statistically they do, but it's like
fluke.
It is fluke, exactly.
It's fluke because the pace is so wild.
Yeah.
There's so many, you so many extra possessions, shots, obviously more opportunities for rebounds. And they crash on offense. What's crazy is they're flawed on offense too, but they like play hard. They try to work together.
They're number one in offensive rebounds.
Yeah, they're a lot of energy on offense.
Yeah.
None of that on the other end.
None at all. Nobody.
Not one. There's not one guy on that roster who I watched Friday and today play defense.
The weird thing is they have a lot of guys who are good defenders that are those like 2 possession defenders. Like Bledsoe for 2 possessions might strap somebody. Lonzo might for 2 possessions might strap somebody. But once those 2 possessions are over, like they're done for the next quarter.
But that's what's crazy is the Knicks, who defensively have a limited roster, I think.
Yeah.
I think they have solid centers to block shots, but that's really it. Nobody else is like a stopper or like a high IQ defensive player.
Nope. And Randall's is really strong.
Right.
That's really it.
They're working together.
Yeah, their help side is crazy.
So good. Active hands. They, again, really good. The Pelicans have none of that.
No, they don't.
None of, dude, and it's so bad. Russell Westbrook cooks. That's going to happen. He's a talented player. You kind of do a good job on Bradley Beal, on a lot of possessions.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Daniel Gafford?
I only saw him get traded there, but I never watched him play.
His 5th game, I believe, maybe 6th.
Yeah, he came from the Bulls.
18 points, 7 rebounds in 25 minutes.
Yeah, he worked them.
And it was 4 and 1s. I think 4 or 5 and 1s.
Dunks or just layups? Just tough layups.
Both. It was so dumb. Like all the fouls, like I said, were just like one of the fouls was a push in the back as he's getting a wide open layup. He gets an open dunk. Somebody just hits him for no reason. It was just bizarre. This team, they don't learn from their mistakes at all.
No, they don't.
I question what Stan Van Gundy is doing with this team.
Well,
what's the direction here?
He's had that problem before, direction. Basically, he had maybe 2 good years of solid direction with the team. And that team, in hindsight, that team was stacked. And now it's like every time he's had a decent team, they do nothing.
No. And this team is decent at worst.
Yeah.
They play it's a miracle to me that they won 25 games or whatever it is, because they're awful.
There's no reason Memphis should be ahead of them.
Dude, there's no reason DC this is back to back. DC stole the game. The Knicks just stole the game.
Yeah. It's
like late in the game, IQ turns off.
Yeah.
In the DC game, Zion just randomly fouls a Westbrook pull-up. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And in this game, did you watch the end of regulation in this game?
Yeah. Yep.
Down 3. Derrick Rose gets a drive. Who cares? Apparently Lonzo Ball does, because he helps off of Reggie Bullock, probably their best spot-up shooter.
Yeah.
He gets a 3, ties the game. That's it.
And Rose had the whole lane. He would have just laid it up. That was the best he could have did.
It was wide open. Would have got 2 points. You're playing the free throw game. But the time was low, so that goes in your favor.
Right.
It's either, I don't know if Stan Van Gundy is like pointing out some of the like just the idiotic mistakes going on, or if he's like just not even bothering to, because this team will foul a shooter, they'll go into a timeout, and they'll foul a shooter next play.
What position, or let me ask, like what aspect of basketball do you think Van Gundy is best at coaching?
I would say spacing around a big.
Okay.
My mind with Stan goes straight to the Dwight Orlando years.
Right.
You know, I didn't get an in-depth look of how he coached, I think, Miami before that.
Well, because, I mean, you know, you got to look at his success at the time. You know, that was really it. He was good. I guess he coached Miami good. But the other thing is, I would agree with that. But, like, this year has been the least aggressive I've seen Adams on offense. Like, since he's been in, at least since Durant left OKC. Like, what happened to that turnaround hook that Adams had that he could do from, like, the foul line? That was
the floater,
amazing.
like the push floater.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Dude, and he came out today, got you like 4 layups to start with.
And then it's
like nobody wanted to. You know, my problem with them the reason why I question Stan Van Gundy is because the things they do well on offense, they never sustain it.
Right.
Like Brandon Ingram will get hot. Now we start playing through Zion. Like, no, that's dumb.
Yep.
Or let's let Lonzo, because he hasn't gotten any touches, let's let Lonzo create shots. Why?
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Like, watching these last 2 games, I was honestly more irritated than I am watching the Wizards. Because I understand the Wizards' limitations. This team should not have the same limitations, and even worse to some extent.
Right.
Dude, the biggest thing for me, I think, they don't commit to Brandon Ingram being their best player. Right. I said it to start the year. I said it early in the year. I think I said it last year. We've seen enough. We know it's his time.
Yeah. When you asked me about the contract extensions, I think Ingram was my number one. Because they'd be nothing without Ingram.
Yep.
You had to give him that money because he's the guy.
And you know what bothers me is he's getting better.
Yeah, he is.
He's getting better. I think his perimeter shooting is getting better and better. He's making good plays for other guys. He's setting up teammates for shots.
Yeah.
But this team, I mean, I thought the Clippers are missing a point guard. My God, nobody runs anything on this team.
No, they don't.
There's not even like a point guard mind on this roster.
And Lonzo's supposed to be that, right?
No, let's be honest. Lonzo's a wing who likes to pass.
Right.
That's really all he is. Like there's nothing about his game he doesn't control the game ever.
No, he doesn't.
And they did like a thing before the game where they interviewed Zion and talked about like Stan Van Gundy letting him play point guard at one point. And he tried to just kind of brush it off with, I got to just adapt to the positionless basketball.
Yeah.
It's like the Pelicans don't understand how the NBA is trending, to be honest.
That's a good way to put it.
because they don't have the roster to get into shootouts.
No, they do
Their
not.
sixth man is James Johnson, for God's sake.
They have Bledsoe on the team. and they're 28th in free throws percentage. 28th.
You don't deserve to win games if you're in the bottom 10 of free throw percentage.
They're 27th in 3-point field goals. They're 23rd in 3-point field goal percentage.
And they chuck.
They shoot
How does
34%.
that make any sense?
Shoot 34% from the field, from 3-point.
And Zion is not absolved of the blame here because he's getting the stats look good. He's getting a lot of buckets.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the worst. He's worse than Michael Porter Jr. on defense.
Yeah.
He doesn't even bother to move his feet.
Nope.
Michael Porter at least like gets cooked. Zion doesn't play hard enough defense to get cooked. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why it's funny.
It's so bad, bro. He doesn't box out ever. Like trash backup bigs just rebound and put back over him.
Yep.
He doesn't move his feet. He only blocks like the highlight weak side blocks. That's all he gets.
And he's also never in position to get back on defense.
Never.
Like, I know you're supposed to crash, but he crashes ones that it's like a highlight that he even gets the rebound because there's like 3 guys there that he busts through to grab it over him. And then he doesn't get that. And then it's a, 5-on-1 fast break, a 4-on-1 fast break. Yeah. Because he's battling with some dude for a rebound that he can't get.
Dude, honestly, his athleticism is slowly starting to get exposed because that's all he got.
Yeah.
I mean, they were sitting on his left hand. He had a ton of turnovers.
They could do it for Zion.
Randall was just ripping the ball out his hands.
Yeah, he was.
And Randall, he did it back to Randall like once or twice.
Yeah.
But then he would just let him get a bucket a bunch of the other times.
Even though Zion's numbers were good and stuff, this still looks like a welcome to the NBA from Julius Randle package to me. Yeah. Like, Randall still basically, to me, I won't say dominated him, but he still outclassed him.
For sure.
So,
and Randall showed that, like, you could use strength with your skill set to, like, maximize what you could do.
Yeah.
Zion just out athletics people, if that's a word, which it's not.
You're right, though. Yeah.
But
right.
It's really bad. A right hand? No thanks. We don't need that because we just elevate over everybody.
It's weird that he can do that and won't do that with the right because all he has to do is drop the ball in the basket.
Like, dude, you're at the rim level every time you jump, practically.
Right.
And my problem is it doesn't look like he's being coached.
Van Gundy, man. It's bad.
I don't see anybody. As I said, everybody on the Knicks is getting maxed out. Their role is defined, clear cut. There's none of that on the Pelicans. Steven Adams is wasted. Like, James Johnson is wasted. Everybody on the bench, Jackson Hayes, wasted.
Jackson Hayes is definitely wasted to be that young.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Bledsoe is even being wasted.
I agree.
And I think he sucks.
For him to bring the ball up court and just hand it to Lonzo and then just end up running around like Alan Crabb for the rest of the play drives me insane. I hate when they do that. And that's like their go-to play.
It's so bad. There was a point in this game where they couldn't get stops and they would run handoffs and they were like the most pathetic, lazy handoffs I've ever seen.
Hart is being wasted too, by the way.
Oh, for sure. And he's still like finding a way to play well because he's good. Yeah. But lately he hasn't been producing at all. I don't know if maybe he got hurt. I didn't see that, but it's bad because I don't know the direction of this team. They play like it's everybody eats, but Like, why? That's not your roster.
Right.
It's just so bizarre. That's why I question Van Gundy, because nothing is sustainable or consistent with this team except Ingram and Zion's talent. Not even like game. It's just talent.
Yep.
I think they're wasting their time if they're like fighting for a playoff spot. Which, watching this weekend, you're not fighting for a playoff spot if that's how you throwing away games.
Yeah, they'd be the type that they'd make it and get beat so bad in the first like 2 games, people would just stop watching the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're awful defensively. They don't box out anyone. Again, the fact that bigs give them the most trouble is what's just insane.
Yep.
So I'm surprised, man. I liked Stan Van Gundy coming here. I didn't think it would be this bad.
I didn't like it, but I also didn't think it would be that bad.
It just bothers me because record-wise, it's not that bad.
Right.
But if you're just throwing away games like this, like, what's the point? You might as well fight for draft pick.
Yep.
And play your fucking bench players. Like, what is this Tom Thibodeau? Everybody's playing 30, 40 minutes.
Right. I hate that. I mean, I'm a Jackson Hayes fan because I think he has a lot of potential, especially in the league right now. How guys are going with the athletic center.
Yep.
And,
spacing and athletic center to fix the defense. That's it.
He wastes them. Who else we got? Who else you want to talk about?
Paul George's been pretty hot lately. We could talk about that.
Man.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I don't understand. I do understand, but I hope that the Clippers front office sees this. It says, Paul George he has 5 straight 33 plus games. I wonder what we could do with him and like actually build around him for a change. I wonder what could happen. And they've won every game that Kawhi has been out in this stretch he was out, by the way. Reggie Jackson is hitting game winners.
Just like Toronto did, by the way. Winning a lot of games without Kawhi.
Yeah. And the thing is, when Pat Bev comes out, Reggie Jackson's not going to be playing. Reggie's hit like 2 super clutch shots in the past week. One was a game winner. One was like, to tie the game up in the end of the game. He's not going to be playing. Paul George is going to be out there with Kawhi. They're going to take the ball out of his hands. This is crazy, man. They got their second highest assist game this week of the season. 34 assists.
Basketball is not that complicated. When I see a star player like eating and the ball movement is still great, I know I have a good foundation.
Yeah.
Like, watching this stretch of how they're playing, it's crazy to me that Kawhi comes back and takes command of the shot distribution.
Listen to this stat sheet. This is from the Indiana game. Zubac 14 points, Luke Kennard 10 points, Reggie Jackson 6, Paul George 36, Marcus Morris 22, Nicholas Batum 14, Terrence Mann 12. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double digits. And the guys they were missing, Ibaka, Cousins, Pat Bev, and Kawhi Leonard. That's just 6 players in double figures. They rarely do that. And it looks fantastic.
I've been saying they know how to move the ball.
They do.
The only one that kills that shit is Kawhi Leonard.
Every time.
It's so crazy that they don't. It's like they don't see it or ignore it.
I don't know, man. It's weird.
I don't understand. We've been hating on them for so long. Honestly, man, I hope they come out of the West at this point.
Me too.
Like a small part of me wants them to like figure it out and fight through it because this team has potential to be that good.
Yeah, they do. They do. And the thing is, I think that Tyronn Lue thinks that he has to. When Kawhi is there, he like leaves Kawhi out, and that's where Terrence Mann, Reggie Jackson, Batum, Kennard can like actually like get their chance to score. Like I think he tries to work it out that way, whereas like okay, Kawhi is out, you guys go. Like it's two separate teams almost.
Yeah.
But when Paul George is there and Paul George like is on the court with everyone, like I feel like when Kawhi's there, there's sometimes Kawhi and like another player is never on the court together. But Paul George like plays through the whole team, and you see the chemistry throughout the whole game with everyone.
It's so obvious at this point. This stretch, if this stretch doesn't show you what the adjustment is that you need to make, you're not self-aware enough to really see what you're doing wrong at this point.
Well, he declined his option.
Kawhi did?
Yeah. So we'll see.
No shot he goes to Miami, right? I saw that was a little apparently he likes Miami. Who wouldn't like Miami? What?
Yeah, Miami is Miami for a reason.
Like Miami, not only is it a lit place to like live, the team plays a fun way. Like, it's a great organization. I can't imagine anybody not wanting to go to Miami.
Right. That's like too easy. Everyone likes Miami.
Right.
But my thought process is if he comes in the summer and asks for a little more money than they're willing to give him, then
deuces.
Yeah.
Deuces.
They could spend that on something else.
I hope they're a brave enough organization to do that.
They're not.
You're right. But I can still hope,
They'll lose Morris, Batum, Ibaka. They'll lose 4 guys before they'll lose 4 guys just to sign Kawhi to whatever he wants, the super max or whatever he wants.
That horrifies me. If this team is willing to like really trash their depth, what little fluke depth they got, for Kawhi, they clearly haven't been watching tape at that point.
Well, I mean, they think Kawhi built this team. This is it.
I hope they still don't think that. They need to let that go.
I agree. They picked up Yogi Ferrell. When did that happen? Oh, 10-day contract. Okay. By the way, Jabari Parker looked great yesterday.
Boston.
Good pickup.
Boston. That is a good pickup. Yeah, fits for them specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston's really like Boston's in such a weird stretch right now because they're winning enough to be a playoff team, but they're trying to make it clear that like we're not a contender as far as how we're playing.
Right.
Kind of irritating because I know they could still be a contender. They still show little flashes here and there, but these shootouts or these like back and forth games that if they think they're winning playoff games like that, we know how they spread the ball out in the playoffs and how it doesn't work.
Right.
Every other team seems to need to pass more in the playoffs except Boston.
And that's why I'm here to double down. Listen, 53 points. Is that right?
Oh, against Golden State?
No, against Minnesota, the worst team in the league. that you went to overtime with. Jason Tatum's what? I don't know if that was his career high. I think it
Had to
was his
be.
career
It
high
had to be.
against Minnesota. You got to go to overtime
Hey,
with Minnesota.
oh, Miami got cooked by Minnesota like a week ago, or maybe even less than that. I think Friday they got cooked when Jimmy Butler said the dumb shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was Friday. So don't disrespect Anthony Edwards' squad, okay?
it takes 145 points to put them away.
That's bad. There's nothing. I can't defend that.
They scored 136 points. You had to go to overtime, so they were right there with you until overtime. I'm not sure. Boston scored 21 points in overtime, which is great. Jason Tatum, 53 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Karl Anthony Towns, 30, 12, and 7.
Damn, so
nice.
he had 100 in 2 games.
They played some games. They played
in between.
They played Denver. They beat Denver, beat Portland, beat the Portland game. He hit the game winner against Portland, I think. And then they played LA, beat them, and then beat Golden State, which if
They're
Golden State
winning.
and Boston could be in the finals,
Well. Oh, that would be fun.
that would be great.
I don't want to see the trash ass Warriors in the finals. They suck, dude. Steph hides. Steph with just explosive scoring hides so many of the how trash they are. So many things that make them trash.
If Clay was here, Steph would be the MVP again. By the way,
this team would be so much better if Clay was. They're a playoff team right now, right? Or like a borderline, like a play-in tournament team.
Yeah, they're playing right now. Yeah,
with
Steph
Clay,
would be the runaway MVP if they had a good record. Dude, he had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Clay would help him. That's the only thing.
Oh yeah, I guess Wiseman and Oubre would have to be healthy too, but he had 43s in 3 games. That's ridiculous.
Insane. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He took that title so fast and so just recklessly.
Yeah.
And he's just he's never given it up, even though, he had a couple of years where maybe with Durant, he settled down a little bit.
He still led the team in scoring those years.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like Durant was eating, he was just, Durant was just coasting. I'm not sure. Well, tell me how you feel about this game. It was basically Steph versus Jason Tatum 1-on-1 for 48 minutes.
I Golden State, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. They don't have a second option because Draymond is allergic to taking shots. Wiggins just the concept of a good shot is weird to him, I guess.
Yeah.
And everything else, everybody else on the team is just plays too fast for their own game.
I agree.
Is that a thing? Maybe not Looney, but Looney's probably been there longer than most of the guys there.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But a lot of the newer guys, the Toscano Anderson's just zooming around for no reason.
Yep.
What's his name? Bazemore had a great game, but he's just a mess.
He is.
But with
Why
Boston,
did Damian Lee leave the game with Toscano Anderson? I thought that was kind of strange.
When he got the concussion,
yeah,
he left with him.
Yeah, and he never came back.
That's strange.
I was like, where is he going?
That's very strange.
If you look up the video of him walking out, Lee is right there next to him, walks all the way out with him, and then I never see him in the game again.
That's weird. I don't know. I've never seen or heard of that. That's bizarre for sure.
Yeah, it was weird, but yeah.
But Boston is coasting on their talent. That's their problem. Their talent is getting better. Brown is getting better. Tatum is individually getting better. Kemba is seemingly getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed for the first time in his Boston career.
Yeah.
And Smart is returned and he's starting to round into form. And it's the same shit that killed them in the Miami series. Not enough
Why
basketballs.
Smart? You don't have to take every three you have. You were 3 for 11.
Hey, we know.
He shot.
Doesn't
He shot
surprise me at
back to
all.
back air balls on one possession. You remember that?
It doesn't like that's Marcus Smart. I know that.
One was like really short, and the other one was like a brick off the backboard.
Yeah, that ugly, like just straight backboard.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like
Oh
they
my
tapped it back
God,
out,
man.
they swung it a couple of times, and then he bricked it again. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
They're just out like talenting teams right now.
Yeah,
And
they
a
just
lot of
have
it
the.
is it's weird because it's not like a collective. It's like either Jaylen Brown goes crazy or Tatum goes crazy or Smart, shoots it kind of well or just a lot.
You're not ready for Brad Stevens to go yet?
No shot. No shot. We're
How
not
did
doing
they
that.
fix this? They can't
Uh,
fix it.
I don't think they need to fix it as much as you think. I think they just need to find a balance.
Well, whose job is that though? That's the problem. They haven't found the balance since Kyrie's been there. It's been the same thing. And they had a team that should have been balanced, and they couldn't figure it out. Obviously, Kyrie didn't play half the time, but every time they get a team that looks like it's gonna be, oh, this is it, perfect balance, they don't get it right over and over and over again every season.
Uh,
And in the
honestly, man,
playoffs, if Kemba was shooting well, I think they would have had it last year. Honestly, because I think
and
Tatum and Brown, huh?
Tatum. If Tatum was shooting spot ups well, they would
Right,
have been in good shape.
right. If they had hit their shots, I think shot distribution wise, I think they did okay in the playoffs. But gotta
But
hit
that's
the
the thing.
shots.
You remember against that zone, it's like they were getting shots, but it just looked uncomfortable
Yeah, it did.
because like nobody. It's like everybody needs extensive touches to get going,
Yeah,
but
a
they
lot of
don't.
volume shooters.
Yeah, but they're not. But that's not their game. Like Tatum is the only one that's a clear cut volume shooter.
Right.
Like nobody else really is a volume shooter to me. They're just really good, so they get a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
But in the playoffs, there's like this weird issue of not really like playing through a guy or a couple guys, like trying to play through everybody.
It looks like a pickup game a lot of times. It's like whoever got it, oh, they see their man, they try to get in the rhythm, they try to take him, and that's the possession.
I still think they're capable of beating anybody in the East.
Yeah, capable, yeah, for sure.
Have a good chance of beating anybody in the East.
I won't go that far, but I'm not mad at it at all. Because
Okay.
I do think roster wise, for sure. But it's the play that is the only thing that makes me hesitant. Roster wise, I think they finally have reached where they were trying to go roster wise. I won't say
Not
Thompson
having
and Robert Williams are like great centers, but I think they're at least, they're too deep at being able to guard a center. They're too deep at guard. They got plenty of wings now. Fournier helps them with the wings. And then Jabari Parker gives them that ability to go small ball nicely with athleticism. He can hit the little short mid-range jumpers. I like the roster. It's there to me. And Pritchard he's turning into a pretty good backup point guard.
I will say when Brown is out, like Ojale filling in for that absence, it's not the answer. That I get that it's one game. You're playing the Warriors, not a big deal, but
Yeah.
y'all look like three spots like less deep, missing just Jaylen Brown.
And Jabari Parker, his first game there, coming in for Grant Williams in the last 3 minutes of the game, said a lot.
Said
Because
everything.
we've had Grant all
Confirmed that.
year, but we know this is not the time. You'll bring someone who has been on the team for 12 hours in the game over someone that, you've been forcing down at everyone's throats for the his whole career now.
We'll definitely talk about Boston, but I want to give him a solid block of time to let Fournier get fit in.
Yeah, and get back healthy.
Yeah,
whatever happened to him.
And with Boston, the way they play, I don't think it's a big deal if he's not a great fit right away.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to be some kind of a fit going into the playoffs.
Yeah. So. I'm cool if Romeo Langford never ties his shoes again on the court. He doesn't need to be on the court at all. Every time he goes out there, he gets exposed. No. Every time. Luke Cornett, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it at all.
I just don't understand.
I know injuries, I know it's a long season, condensed season, so playing a lot of games.
Bro, but Luke Cornett, of all people,
what are these teams? These teams are trying to plug in just nonsense to fill the rotation.
They signed him before Jabari Parker. That alone is disrespectful to me. I was home too. I would have said, you signed Luke Cornett.
That's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
4 blocks and road win. Congratulations, Luke. Let's see who else we got. I saw Atlanta play.
I haven't seen Atlanta in a while. I know they've gotten much better with Nate McMillan.
They have, but Collins wasn't there when I watched this last game, but they got completely exposed by Milwaukee. They got worked by Milwaukee. And the thing is, the points, it was 120 to 109. That looks nicer than it was because Milwaukee, had the other Antetokounmpo in the game at the end. But Collins didn't play. I still haven't seen the Hawks healthy at all, honestly, for a full game.
Yeah.
This is who was missing that game. Snell, Reddish, Dunn, Collins, Gallinari, Hunter, Bruno Fernando.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a whole nother team.
That's what I'm saying. Hunter, Gallinari are key wings for them.
Yeah, and Collins is their
second best player.
Right. So, and Reddish was he helped them, their wing depth, because,
for sure.
Snell had been playing well. I'm not sure if Snell was hurt, actually, so I take that back. He might have been there and just didn't get in the game. I know Reddish is hurt.
Frankly, I couldn't care less about Tony Snell, whether he's playing or not. It doesn't do anything.
He's hit some big shots.
Has he? Again, I haven't seen Atlanta much. I haven't seen him since Rondo left.
Well, I brought them up really not to even talk about them. I don't know why Lou Williams only took 6 shots in 23 minutes, but it looked really bad. But I brought them up to say Milwaukee getting Jeff Teague was absolutely genius. And I don't know, I won't say getting rid of DJ Augustine was cool, but they got Jeff Teague and he playing for his old coach. He looked so comfortable there, way more comfortable than he did with Boston. And, I said before, I thought Jeff Teague was kind of I don't want to say poor man's, but tier below Drew Holiday, but they kind of do the same thing. You remember me saying that?
Yeah.
they were on the court together, and it was like they were just strapping Trey and Lou Williams. Strapping. I mean, Trey shot 3 for 17 this game.
That's one thing,
18%.
Drew Holiday. That's why I was so happy about them picking him up.
Yeah.
Is because defensively he's like top tier.
Yeah.
Especially on guards. He struggles with bigger guys. Like he tries and struggles, I think. But with guards, man, he's like really built to defend guards well.
Yep.
And Teague is an energy guy. So like Teague doesn't surprise me. He feeds off of like if your starting guard is playing well,
yeah,
that just feeds a guy like Teague to me.
Yeah, and he never backs down against anybody.
Backs, yeah.
So they were trying to switch. Like Trey was trying to switch off of Holiday, and he was getting on Teague, and then Teague was strapping him, and he tried to switch off Teague. He was getting PJ Tucker, and all I'm saying is Milwaukee's defense looks really, really, really tough. It just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, they figured it out like right before the All-Star weekend. They really started to get going.
Yeah, and then they added
and
Tucker.
It was low key, yeah.
And then they added Teague, so it's like.
And I hate to be negative. Fuck.
Well,
I don't want to be negative, but you know, this is the third year we're getting this from Milwaukee, where they just they get to a point where they look unstoppable.
Yeah, you're right.
The roster looks good. Ball movement looks good.
Yeah.
This is where I worry. You signed Drew Holiday now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you did with Eric Bledsoe.
Mm-hmm.
He came in. He gave you a great half season. Remember that first half season that he was there?
Yeah,
right before
Jason
they gave him
right?
that extension. Yeah, he was just hooping.
Yeah.
Collapsed in the playoffs. You know, was inconsistent from at that point on.
Yep.
And the problem is in the regular season, he looks like a great fit with Bledsoe. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Looks like a great fit in the playoffs. I'm begging for anybody to replace him.
Right.
And Drew Holiday is a huge upgrade. I've acknowledged that a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not like the kinds of shots that he gets. It's very high degree of difficulty. It's very like take this possession, Drew, because you're nice.
Yeah.
Not so much just involved in the offense. It's more of like, oh, Drew, you have a mismatch, expose it.
Right. That's not his game.
And I worry that I don't want to walk into the playoffs and Drew Holiday's taking tough shots all game.
You know, and he shoots a higher clip than I think he probably should. Like, I don't think 17 shots in a game is, I feel like that's a lot for him.
But that was the problem with Bledsoe, I think, is like he would have big scoring games.
Uh-huh.
So he would have these big scoring games, and you kind of like you start thinking maybe Bledsoe needs to be really aggressive.
Right.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's the same thing we've gotten the last 2 years.
I can understand that fear.
I think
definitely.
I still don't think they're going to handle zones well.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think, like, I don't like how they play through guys too consistently. Like they're taking advantage of Middleton playing like a damn Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
But 2 years in a row, we get to the playoffs and Middleton is not that.
Right.
So maybe this is the year, but I said that last year. So I'm not committing to that this year.
The other thing I think they really need to commit to is using Greek Freak down low, like actually as a center sometimes.
It pisses me off that you have to say that. Like, you're right.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is drive and kick, please. And that includes Greek Freak. You don't have to drive and try to just ram into somebody, run somebody over to get a bucket every time. You are a terrible free throw shooter. Let it go. You don't have to get free throws. Kick it out. You have Bryn Forbes. You have DiVincenzo's a pretty good shooter. You have Pat Connaughton.
You know,
You have
Tucker's gonna
PJ
be in the
Tucker.
corners.
Yeah, you know PJ Tucker is there waiting. You have Chris Middleton, and now you have Drew Holiday and Brooke Lopez. All shooters.
That's what I'm saying. Every season, their spacing is so good.
Yeah, and Teague too. You can't leave Teague, especially at top of the key. Teague loves that shot. If
But
you
for
leave
some
him,
reason, that spacing doesn't translate.
because no one kicks the ball out though. Greek Freak, last 2 seasons, if he gets the ball in the paint, the team might as well get back on defense because he's not letting it go. Every time he's gonna get a charge or he's gonna get fouled and he's gonna miss the free throws.
And to be honest, I'd rather him do that all night. It's time to let the size up shots go.
Oh, I agree with that for sure.
Like these guys, I don't get why these guys have to like prove that they're like isolation shooters.
Right.
Like, yo, okay, you're working on it. When we swing you the ball in the corner, nobody closes out, everybody's in the paint, go ahead and take it.
Yep.
Why do you have to size up guys that you're quicker than to do that shit?
And it has no gain for Greek Freak to be a good like step back jumper guy.
No.
Or a good hezzy pull up guy.
Drew Holiday being a more reliable ISO guy than Bledsoe, to me, like that should be the final nail in the coffin. Like, okay, Greek Freak, like no more jumpers, bro.
Mm-hmm.
At least no more ISO jumpers. Again, I don't care. Even with Ben Simmons, who doesn't take any, I want him taking them if they swing the ball and he's wide open.
Right.
Even bad shooters should take, the good ball movement shots.
Yeah.
But the create your own, like, dude, you can't hit open shots and you're trying to create your own?
Right.
That's bizarre.
It is.
And I want to be confident in Milwaukee. They look good.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3rd year in a row they've looked good. I just can't.
Yeah. Okay. We're almost done with the sports. Real quick. NFL draft.
Yes.
Give me your top 3 favorite draft prospects. I guess they would be,
Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Sheesh. Okay, I'm curious if he goes to a team that's lacking weapons.
He's projected to go to the Lions, but that's at 7. He could go before that, of course. Bengals are there.
Unfortunately, I don't care if he goes to the Lions.
Dolphins are there.
But Dolphins would be a great pick.
Yeah.
Because I think Dolphins roster-wise are pretty set.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have glaring holes, at least on defense. So I think giving Tua an extra weapon, I can't hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is obviously too easy, but after that national championship game, I gotta say Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's up there for me too. He looks good.
He's
really good.
There's all these weird reports about what the 49ers are gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they take him.
This is Mel Kiper? Oh, this is
Jets.
One of the other guys.
Maybe the Jets shock us, but
they have him fifth quarterback picked. They got Mac Jones.
Quarterback picked?
That's what they have him, yeah. They got Trevor, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, and then Justin.
Bro,
Trey Lance looks really good too, though.
Okay, I think the Jets are pretty set on Zach Wilson. I'm pretty sure I read that in a couple, which
I don't like, but
of course
okay.
The Jets.
Yeah.
But the Justin Fields, the disrespect is just wild.
49ers getting Mac Jones would be whack. Really whack.
I don't know. Mac Jones is weird. Like, I'm excited about Mac Jones, but I'm also reserved about him.
Me too. Yeah. I'm like that with all the Alabama quarterbacks
Right.
because they have the best weapons.
Right.
So it's like you're playing with a loaded deck already. So how bad can you be? With Devontae Smith, just throw it up in the air. You saw in the last 2 games, he was wide open, all by himself most of the time. Like
Yeah, bro. He's wild. He's best receiver in the college football by far.
yeah, like a third string quarterback would have been hooking him up in the championship game. It wouldn't have been any different.
Yeah.
So I haven't really seen. I would need to see Mac Jones with like a bad team to really see
Yeah.
what he could do. Because I've seen some of these great quarterbacks in the league with bad teams in college. I see
Yeah.
what they could do with it. Like Lamar Jackson, he went to Louisville. Like name 4 other players that went to Louisville ever.
My thing with the 49ers, though, is like they're not built like, a usual top drafting team.
No, they're not.
Like the Jaguars are awful.
Mm-hmm.
So like quarterback comes in, he has to save the franchise. The Jets, the same thing.
Yeah.
The 49ers are a good team that just got destroyed by injuries.
Right. So you think starting over with a new quarterback, rookie quarterback would be tough for them?
That's why I'm curious who they get, because I think they could be brave enough to take a risk on Justin Fields. Like maybe there are like red flags or something that we don't know about. Maybe there was like an issue with where did he play before Ohio State?
Georgia, I think. Yeah, I think Georgia.
Yeah, he lost to some quarterback there.
Yeah.
And transferred. So maybe there's like drama there that we don't know about, or maybe it's something else, but he's been slipping like the last week or two.
Yeah. I don't know why.
But again, the 49ers are not like garbage where we need a quarterback to save the organization.
Right.
We really need a quarterback to come in and just be a playmaker.
Right.
And I think they're good enough not to take the safe pick, which I think is Mac Jones. And I think Fields showed a much higher ceiling from the 2 games that I watched him in than I saw any from Mac Jones.
I think, in my opinion, Fields showed the highest ceiling at all the quarterbacks to me, especially.
I'm not mad at that.
And I always say this about the NBA, and I know it's not the same, but you look at the best players, you see where the trajectory of good players at that position is going. You see Steph is a 2-time MVP. Okay, my point guard needs to be able to hit threes. Yep. So you see the quarterbacks, they're these multi-dimensional quarterbacks, and that's Justin Fields over everybody.
Exactly. And guys, you see it, the mobile guys who come in, even like the backups or like the random signees, like the Washington quarterback that put up a good fight against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Mobility just opens things up.
Right.
And I think it'll work really well for the 49ers. I think Fields, they're not only built to like be able to take a risk, they're built to give a quarterback some time to develop.
Absolutely. I agree.
We know with the Jets, Zach Wilson probably won't last a year. He'll probably get hurt because nobody's protecting him, or he just won't have anybody to throw to.
That's why I'm surprised they're not talking about getting a more mobile quarterback with some of the mobile quarterbacks that are available. Maybe it's too early. I mean, second pick.
Patrick Mahomes fucked the league up because all they look for now is who got the cannon arm.
Right.
Everybody's wanting like that next, beam it down the whole field guy.
And it's so much more to it than that.
So much more.
Yep.
You would think they would know that with what Brady's been doing the last 20 years.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You see who just won a Super Bowl. He doesn't,
And he's like, and crazy thing with him in Tampa Bay is he's like taking a hint of this like beam it and take chances style.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we got to the playoffs, he settled it down, simplified it, and was much more selective with that.
Right.
But he's one of the few who's good enough to do that. If one of the only, probably maybe only one good enough to do that.
Right.
But another guy I'm excited for to keep it with offensive weapons is Jamar Chase, another receiver.
Yes, I love Jamar Chase.
I liked him a lot, and he's not better than Smith, so he's probably going to be a mid-round guy.
Well, this one I'm looking at, and I don't know whose this is. Okay, so Mel Kiper, he has, Lawrence Wilson Jones, and then he has Chase at 7, Smith at 8. So he has them going Chase right above Smith.
I don't know if Chase is better than Smith, but if anybody was close, it was him.
For me, I think Chase might be better because I think he's a little more shifty. I think Smith is just fast. He's like really smooth.
Smith reminds me of like a little bit bigger, the Raiders guy, Ruggs, I believe.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs, yeah.
Yeah. And I think Chase was a little more, maybe a little more finesse than Smith. I don't know though. I liked what I saw from Chase, but Smith, when he did what he did, made it really special. Obviously,
Yeah. That's it for me, man. I'm not a huge college football guy, so it's a lot of the guys I'm seeing is usually in the playoffs or early in the year, where it's kind of like you never really know. But that's kind of the thing with drafts. Obviously, the quarterbacks, but for me, I'm always curious where the offensive weapons are gonna go.
Yeah, and for me, my only one to add, because mine, I was gonna say Chase, and I was gonna say Fields, is Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida.
I'd heard a lot of hype around him.
He's a beast, man, a beast. Mel Kiper has him going to Miami in a trade from Atlanta, so he could go to Atlanta or Miami.
They get a tight end. Forget Smith. If Miami could get a tight end where like Tua could have like the dump down throws.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. They might go off.
Yep. And this other one has him going to the Eagles, which would be interesting as well.
Huge.
But Giants are right there before the Eagles. I would like that, Giants, but they won't do it. Giants.
What pick do the Giants have?
11th.
Hey, if Fields is the 5th quarterback, he might slip. The Patriots definitely taking him at. They got 10, right?
The Cowboys got 10.
The Patriots aren't like anywhere before that.
No, they got 15.
Okay. 15. Yeah. Hey, if a quarterback is available, I don't know Trey Lance and I don't know Zach Wilson, but if Mac Jones or Justin Fields are available at 11,
yeah,
New York, don't even think about it.
I've seen some footage on Trey Lance. He looks legit, but he goes to North Dakota State, so his competition wasn't that crazy. Yeah. But he looks serious from the little bit I saw. I only saw a few highlights. So okay. You want to transition to music?
Yep.
You got any other sports at all? Nothing?
Hey, Clowney to the Browns was kind of wild.
Yeah, I like that. I've seen a lot of people saying he doesn't still have it. He's washed. He's not going to make any change to their, how they play or anything. But I thought it was a big pickup.
You can't ever getting a good pass rusher is never a negative to me.
Right.
Unless you're like destroying your salary cap, which I mean, I'd take.
They're not.
I'd take a slight hit for Clowney.
Yeah.
I think he's got the potential. Maybe not. He hasn't maybe lived up to it, but he still has it.
Especially where they are. They're young. They're moving in the right direction pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pickup for sure. That's the time I definitely wouldn't mind destroying my salary cap if I had to take that next step.
Yeah.
Okay. Music time. Where do you want to
Yes.
start? We got two.
Let's start with Conway.
Okay.
Keep it on the Griselda vibes.
Okay.
What'd you think, man? I was surprised. I knew he had something coming. My friend was a huge Griselda fan, was keeping me like, Conway's next, Conway's next. I was ready for this.
Okay.
What'd you think?
Um, I didn't like it, man. I really didn't. It to me, those guys are really good at picking their beats, the beats that their voice sounds really cool on.
Yes.
They get that. I guess in a bigger point, they're starting to get repetitive, right? For me. And Conway, because he's like not he's I guess regarded as the least lyrical talent out of the three of them. His sounds worse when it's repetitive. It's the same cadence. They're talking about the same thing over and over again. The beats, they're different, but they're not so different. Whereas,
Yeah.
it's obviously the same producer who did a good job, but I don't know, man. It got kind of boring to me after a while. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair.
JID smoked his verse. Luda's verse was cool. I would like to hear Luda and JID do another song together, a longer song probably. They might have had one, but
I didn't really like Luda. I thought Luda's verse sounded like washed.
it sounded
Like
awkward next to J. Like when he did it, it sounded awkward, but I like
it
the
was
thought.
he flowed on the beat well,
Yeah.
but like his lines were just corny. I was like, I don't know if maybe I just hadn't heard him in a while or what.
No,
But
I agree with that. I agree.
I was just like, and he had some corniness to him, even back in the day. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
in
wanted more.
hindsight that he's corny though. Cause like at the time it sounded
That's true.
fire.
Facts, big facts.
In the last song with the Griselda, they always have a Griselda song on every album.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the electric guitar beat. It sounded weird. It was just weak. This was a weak effort in my opinion. But shout out to him. Shout out to Griselda. I think it's cool that they support each other and keep, they're so active. I like that. But yeah, go ahead. What do
Yeah,
you think?
he Benny is the only guy that I was like excited about and had heard and liked. The whole I like their joint project from I think the end of 2019.
Yeah.
WWCD, I believe it was called. But I really liked it, but you could tell they have good chemistry, so that didn't surprise me that it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I kind of, I had a positive mindset about all three of them because I liked everything I heard from all three of them.
Yeah.
This album, I liked it. I thought it was, I had a fun time listening to it, but it's very forgettable. And again, in hindsight, I think it's got a very old school feel to it with the beats.
Yeah.
Especially the first half. I thought the first half was just slow. Like the beats were slow. It was super lyrical, but like you said, he was kind of saying the same stuff. Lines didn't really hit that well to me.
Yeah.
Him trying to throw out that he's potentially the best lyricist in Griselda. I thought I was like, dude, you're not. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But what I really liked, I thought the second half of this, 6 to 11,
yeah,
I thought the beats picked up the pace a little bit. The energy was a little bit faster. And it showed more of the chemistry with the features, which was really good.
I agree with that for sure.
And that's something that surprised me because like for an album that's kind of boring, that's kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
I was impressed. Like he showed good song making ability, I think.
He did.
So while I agree with you that it was like disappointing, kind of maybe a weak effort,
Yeah.
I do think it's like a fun, casual listen. I don't think it's a bad album.
It's a good casual listen. Yeah, it is. You're right. You're right. All right. I will say I hated the 2 Chainz song though.
Really?
That's the only song I hated. Yeah, I didn't like
Liked
I like 2 Chainz, but I thought the beat was really not good. I didn't
What's
like
your
anything.
favorite? Give me your favorite
song.
off of this.
Um, I liked Blood Roses.
I couldn't really pick. I probably had to Hustle.
Okay.
KD, I actually really liked too.
I liked KD too. I did. Yeah. Okay.
But I guess the big release of the week. My God, bro. These can we get a lit music week, please?
You want to go first on this or me? I could. I'll be quick if you want me to.
Okay, if you're quick, go first. Yeah.
This thing. I want the group albums to stop. This is the last straw for me with group albums. Unless Young Money comes back and does it, I don't want to hear anybody else because it's terrible, dude. All these names: YTB, Trench, Lil Key, Lil Duke, Strick, B Slime, FN the Dealer, Young KO, High Dora, Dolly White, T Shine. Come on, man. Yak Gotti, Unfunk.
Oh man,
bro, this was garbage. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. This thing sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, I like the honesty. I like it.
It was terrible from start to finish. Drake's thing was trash. Travis, I was like, when I was listening to him, like, yo, why didn't Young Doug come a little harder knowing Travis is coming? And then Travis was trash. And then Big Sean was like whispering in his verse, which I liked the verse, but why he was whispering.
I didn't like Big Sean. I thought it was like that corny shit that people be clowning him for. Like his lines are sometimes like just OD corny.
Yeah.
A prime example on this verse.
You're right. The Skepta I hated. Superstar may be one of the worst songs I have ever heard in my entire life.
Hold up.
Remember when you said the song on on Action Bronso's album?
Oh my God.
Was it Telemundo or something?
Yeah.
Superstar immediately made me feel like that. Wow, this is the worst song of the year.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was terrible, dude.
Okay, dude, I didn't have this negative of a perspective on this. I will say, man,
that came and saw with Rowdy Rebel. What was that?
Don't get me wrong. There's some trash on here. There's a lot of trash on here, as a matter of fact.
Tell me the good on here, because I missed it. I actually liked the Unfunk song. That was my favorite song on here.
I actually like the Skepta song, Woke Star. I thought that was cool.
I like the song with when I was listening to it, I thought Strick was somebody else. He sounded like he sounded like a British 21 Savage, or just 21 Savage, since he is British. Man. I'm like, wow, okay, they got 21 on this, and then no, it's Strick and Skepta. I like that song though. I just didn't like Skepta's part.
23 songs. You know how I feel. What are you doing? Who the hell wants to listen to Young Thug and Gunna for 23 fucking songs?
Was Gunna on all these?
It it felt like he was on 26 fucking songs. That's what it felt like to me. That was by far my least favorite part of this album was how much Gunna was on this shit. And this is how much maybe, you know, I'm a hater. I know there's people who like Gunna out there.
You're good at detecting voices because some of these songs with 3 or 4 people on it, I couldn't tell who was Gunna and who wasn't Gunna after a while.
Dude, that's fair. But my thing is, like, what's so crazy is Young Thug's production should make Gunna sound better. And it does not. Like, it puts me to sleep listening to him rap.
Yeah.
I just hate, like, he's got that like lazy, like kind of stoner delivery. And it's like it's so dry. It's like his line, even like the funny shit he says doesn't hit because it's so dry to me.
Yeah.
And I once I by like the halfway point, I was like, I wanted to turn this shit off because I'm like, yo, I don't need Gunna on every song.
Yeah.
This was Young Thug disappointed me more than anybody. I thought the features, some were disappointing, but overall the star power kind of gave it a little bit more versatility to this. At least enough versatility for me to get through it.
Yeah.
But Young Thug was like just annoying a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that's something like, I know a lot of people who don't like him usually think that, but I do like a lot of the stuff he puts out. I think I gave a positive review to Slime Language 1.
Yeah.
Slime
Language 1 was good.
Right. I've liked a lot of his more recent projects. And I just think he was kind of developing with his style in a way I didn't think he could. There's none of that here. This is like the worst aspects of Young Thug. That's what this album is full of.
Yeah.
The production is saying I'm not a rapper, but what he's doing on the songs is like, yo, I guess I'm purely a rapper. Like, you're not. Why would you even want to do that for 23 songs?
Right.
And what's really bizarre to me, like listening to Young Thug all these years, there's 2 songs on here with a female artist.
Yeah, Coiler Rain's on here
3.
twice.
Coiler, I like. Probably my favorite song on here.
Yeah, I liked it too.
And every other song with a female feature, I enjoyed.
Yep.
But again, like
Carlay was on Trance too.
Like Gunna, you work with Gunna. I guess you're only in the studio with Gunna. But female artists, you can't put some effort into working with them. Every time to me he works with a female artist, he gives me like an exciting sound or a creative sound.
Yeah.
And it's criminal how little he does that.
Yep.
So that's, this album is just full of disappointments to me as a Young Thug fan.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. Like I didn't have like a negative reaction to it, but that's just because Young Thug is like his music is just fun enough to like have on and just kind of having high energy. But in hindsight, man, there's nothing impressive here. I mean, when the Drake feature is trash, there's nothing to be excited for.
Yeah. That Uzi song almost made me put the car on cruise and jump out of it while the song was playing.
There was like 3 genuine stretches where I'm like, I was in the mood to listen to this, and now I'm not.
I liked from Real, I like, and Warrior. And then, I thought the Skepta song was cool. And then it just went downhill from there for me, pretty much. I mean, I didn't like anything else after that.
Travis was awful to me. Future was obviously awful. The one that I thought I was excited for and thought would be good was Kid Cudi. Awful. Uh, Again, these are artists Young Thug has either done good things with or like should sound good with.
I don't like that Kid Cudi always has to like get the moon on like every song he's featured on has to allude to Kid Cudi.
Yes.
That's getting corny now. But
That's why Man on the Moon is the only good music he's put out to me.
and they still just keep rolling with that.
Yeah.
I wish Meek. I mean, like I didn't need Meek on here. Once it got there, I was like, I don't care who they put on here. This thing is trash. I'll never listen to this.
Yeah,
again.
by that point, by song 18, there's nothing that could change, what you've heard up to that point.
Exactly.
And I will completely disagree with you. I think the group projects, I'm all for those.
No.
But this isn't like, this is like a label thing. Like these I don't like. Because like Young Thug and Gunna and like whoever else is on here, they're not a fucking group.
Well, what was the Dreamville? That's the label one too.
Yes, that's similar to this, where it's just too much of like randomness.
Okay, well those I want the label ones to stop.
Yes, like the
And the thing is,
Griseldas, the clear cut groups. I'm for.
Oh no, yeah, I like that. I like the Griseldas. I like
Beast Coast for sure.
Loved it, but this has to go. It's so bad, man. This is like the fourth one since Young Money did it and did it so great. It's still, I mean, that album is amazing. Ever since then, I haven't heard a good label one yet.
I don't think I have either. Nothing that comes to mind.
I mean, what was the one with Lifestyle on it? With what's his name?
Rich Homie.
Yeah,
Rich Homie Quiet. I don't even remember.
he was in something with Young Money, something. But that was trash. It had a good single. The rest of it was trash. I really didn't like the Dreamville thing. And the other Dreamville ones, this is my thing. If everyone on here had a solo song, I probably would have found a way to like it. Because like I said, I
agree with that.
The Unfunk one when it was mostly him in there. I liked the Coi Leray song. It was it was just the two girls really. Yep. I liked that when people were by themselves. But this T-Shot, like the Warrior record and Pretty Much Down, the Skepta song sounded like it was for Skepta. But all the other ones seemed like it was just a song and people were just sitting in the studio and, Young Thug was just like, yo, man, you feel like putting something into this real quick? Like, it wasn't like, I just can't imagine some of these guys thinking they belonged on some of these songs.
Yeah, man, I just don't like. I always feel like Young Thug tries to like push his sound and see where it could go and try things with his sound. I didn't feel that here. That's what bothers me. And I feel a lot of that is Gunna, because Gunna is not versatile. He's the same flow, the same sound, every song.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about repetitive with Conway, dude. Gunna sounds like a fucking, like he just said, like he's repeating the verse he just put out.
It does sometimes.
I'm telling you now, like I've already skipped the last album or two from Gunna. I ain't reviewing his shit unless the music week is so dead and nothing else drops.
Yeah.
Like he's shown me nothing. Not one. I've never heard him sound like good enough to the point where I'm like, oh, like maybe if he focuses on this kind of sound, he could do something good.
Yeah.
Just boring, dry, just corny.
Yeah.
Every way.
And the other thing about this album, well, I already said I don't think the beats sounded like the production part of putting the right artists on the right beat was completely failed on here, in my opinion. The ordering of these songs, the track listing, I do not understand at all. Like, why did they start with Slatty and then go to Ski?
That was an awful. Slatty was an awful first impression.
Absolutely.
Dude, Slatty, I know several people who like are committed music fans. Like if you ask them to listen to something or recommend it, they'll listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee Slatty would make them turn this shit off.
Well, almost made me turn it off. I can tell you that.
That was my first one. I was like, yo, I know we're not starting like this.
Well, it did make me turn it off actually, because I was doing something else and I put it on. I was like, oh wait, I need to be doing something else when I listen to this. Like,
oh yeah, I was watching the games today, listening to this, and I was missing the game volume. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, man. This thing was not good, man. And I don't know who these producers are.
And we have been on a streak of, maybe not a streak, but we've heard a lot of projects with really good production.
We have.
And like hearing a lot of good production, you start to pick up on trash production.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 right here. It sucked. The production sucked. Young Thug's performance sucked. Gunna was exactly the same as he always is. So I'm not even going to say he sucked. And they're on they're the stars of this. Even J. Cole on Dreamville 3, at least the stuff he was on, like he did a good job for the most part.
He did, yeah.
Obviously, Middle Child was a hit. Sacrifices was great. His other verses were great.
Yeah.
You're carrying the album and you're just doing the same repetitive shit every song.
Yeah, and on Diamonds Dancing and Solid, I realized, like Young Thug isn't even trying to make a good album. That's how I felt like when I was listening to that, especially Diamonds Dancing. Because like I said, I heard it. I'm like, man, he's not even gonna, you got to come better than that. Like, think about before you heard Travis on that. I was like, that's it. You know, Travis is about to kill this. The beat was nice. You know, when that flow he had was pretty cool. But he just didn't say anything. Then I was like, okay, so this album like isn't actually supposed to be good. He's just like making a bunch of I don't even know, just putting songs out just for people to help all these other guys make money or something.
I guess this is random. Like Slime Language 1 didn't feel random to me.
No, it didn't.
This feels random.
It's completely random. Pots and Pans.
There's a lot of trash on here, bro.
And I mean
like stretch it.
I mean it about Superstar. Superstar was so bad to me. It made me want to rip my ears off.
How many fucking hits have they put out together?
And that beat, it sounded like a little kid's beat or something. I don't know, man.
I'll tell you, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to label any song the worst song because obviously I'm not sure, but the Lil Uzi song pissed me off more than any song I've heard in the last 5-6 months.
I'm telling you, man. I wanted
just
to put
annoying.
The car into cruise, and I wanted to just hop out of it, roll out of it like the movies, and just let the car keep on going. I just did not. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, dude, I have to get out of this car. Like, I felt like I was getting claustrophobic listening to that record.
Dude, I was like, I wanted to hear this a second time because I was, I was trying to be positive, but like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, fuck, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Shit, I didn't really like anything on here, for the most part. Outside of like some little, tidbits of things that I like.
Yeah.
But I tried to go get a little basketball workout and like have this playing. And normally I could listen to anything playing basketball.
Yeah.
Not this. Tell you right now, I finished warming up and I was like, I don't even have energy to work out. Like this isn't it. And I don't need hype music to work, like do basketball workouts.
Right,
like I just need good music.
Yeah.
This was not it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, this
Shout,
shit made me appreciate Conway's album more.
Me too, actually. Yeah, it did. Me too. Yeah, because the thing is, I I listened to this the day it came out, and that was when I was like, okay, I must not be doing the right thing. Like while I'm listening to this, because this isn't sounding right. Something doesn't sound right with this. So I
Right.
gave it a break. I can't, and I just today I listened to it again all the way through, and I was like, no, it sounds the same. It just is really bad.
Yeah.
And that's it. The crazy thing is, I haven't even heard a lot of these people since Slime Language 1.
Yeah,
Like
Lil
I have
Duke, where's he been at?
Carlay, Little Duke, uh, someone else that's on Slime Language 1 that I hadn't heard since then. Really Strict, I really didn't hear. Hi Dora, Dolly Williams. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was bad. Really bad. I hate
I
when they
will
have
say,
good album art for garbage albums. I think I've said that on here before, but I'll say it again.
that's whack.
Yeah.
Uh, on a positive note, Queen Naija put out a deluxe of her album from late last year. You remember Misunderstood?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good album. I've been going back to parts of it a lot. These were good additions, man. They fit the vibe of the album really well.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me kind of new tracks to check out from her because she's not really that active musically. So I enjoyed these a lot.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I got to get to that. I haven't. I can't. I don't have anything else from
Oh,
anybody else.
Ian Dior dropped a couple tracks, which are actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Trippy Red feature. Him and Trippy Red are, you could tell that's a good matchup or that's a
Yeah.
good combo.
Yeah. Yeah. Just on paper, it really sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid Ink dropped the album. I listened to that. Wasn't too bad, but
You're not gonna tell me about Kid Ink, bro? I haven't heard Kid Ink in fucking like 6-7 years.
I thought you.
It's
I
not
thought you
that
do. I
long.
didn't.
I didn't know. Where is he had to like put it out as like a mixtape or something. It's not on Apple Music. No way.
I think so. Or
No
live?
shot. It must not be like promoted because I usually
No, it's
just
not.
look at the.
Does
Really, he's that cheeks of an artist now that he don't even get to like be on the new releases list.
there's no feature, no like big features on there. Just his normal, like his friends, Brick Baby and Rory Fresco.
This guy. Okay. All right. I'm definitely checking this out. I don't even care if it sucks.
It doesn't suck. It's catchy,
Nice.
but it's that
That's his
doesn't mean it's
game.
good. Yeah,
That's his game. I like it.
yeah, it's definitely catchy though. You get that from him no matter what.
Let me ask you a question that's kind of strange to me is why the hell are people excited about Culture 3? What the hell is that?
What do you mean? Why are they excited?
Everybody's like, all I see is this shit on social media about the snippets sound good and Quavo's throwing shots at Saweetie and all this. Like
It's
yo,
been a while.
I didn't forget Culture 2 and how fucking trash it was.
Yeah, Culture 2 is weak. Very
Super
weak. I'm at the point with them is I'm not sure if they can make like a really good song alone anymore.
But you know what they did is they listened to what we obviously didn't listen, but they took our advice where they took a break.
Mm-hmm.
Like we haven't heard them in a while.
Right.
So one credit I will give them is I think people have been hungry to hear them again because you know they haven't cooled off really.
Right.
And I honestly I do think in that way they could kind of surprise us.
Mm-hmm.
But the length, please God, no more than 15.
You know it's gonna be at least
It's gonna be
20.
like 20 fucking 5.
Yeah.
All right, I could just picture the track list having to scroll down. I hate I hate having to scroll down on a full screen page of music.
Yeah.
That to me, if I have to do that, the album is too long.
Yep.
But I'll definitely check it out. Obviously, we'll have like a in-depth review about it. But
is the release date out?
I don't think so. Not that
okay.
I've seen, but
okay.
Again, I hope it's not too long, and I hope I just hope they don't go crazy with the features. I don't really need them. I want to hear them. I want them to impress me.
Yeah.
Because Offset impressed me on his album. Takeoff has sporadically impressed me.
Yeah.
Quavo used to impress me. So,
well, they have to have a Drake feature on there. Got to be one.
I need better than what I got last time. I could say that.
Then Walk It, Talk It.
At least, come on, don't give me like the feature was good, but you give me the most annoying hook of that year.
Yeah.
Like with the Drake track, you have 22 other songs to do that to.
I hate that. I don't like cool Drake as a featured artist. When Drake is just being cool,
yeah,
I don't like it.
I feel you.
None of like his featured songs when he's cool sound good to me. I like when he's either spitting game or he's being a killer or is like, you guys can't touch me and my crew kind of thing.
Right.
I like that. But the Walk It Talk It thing was kind of weak. I actually liked White Sand on there that they didn't promote at all. They didn't promote the Notice Me record with Post Malone.
No, that was hot.
It was.
Notice Me was a good on replay for a while for me.
Yeah, me too. And they didn't push it. They kept pushing Walk It, Talk It, Stir Fry, and Motorsport. So
they really pushed Stir Fry. I liked Stir Fry when I first heard it. They made me hate that shit.
Yeah, me too.
But radio will do that.
And that commercial with the dog, the emoji dog.
Yeah.
The Apple thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They played that to death because of that song.
Yeah.
So. All right. We got anything else really? Anything else major?
Oh, not that I could think of. Draft is this Thursday.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it this Thursday or next Thursday?
I'm not sure, but either way, we'll react to it whenever it happens.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how teams will address issues they got. And we can really start to like talk about what's the upcoming football season, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's next Thursday, the 29th.
Oh, I think Mortal Kombat either came out or is about to come out.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Comes out
like
this week,
23rd.
I think.
So yeah, probably late this week. I'll check that out.
Definitely. Yeah.
Not definitely, but I'll check it out.
No, I'm definitely gonna check it out. The action looks good no matter what. And that's obviously the story and the acting may be an issue, but the action looks dope. CGI looks fire.
I agree.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, we got interviews coming up soon. Stay tuned for those. Subscribe, notifications, follow us on Instagram.
See you guys in episode 141.